When does Kaiba win? Only when he threatens to commit suicide?
Kaiba's win rate is literally garbage against Yugi.
Hey everybody, what's up? Circus here, coming at you with a video where we're going to be talking about cards that were great in the anime but are just terrible in
Yep.
Duel Links. I brought Ryan here because, well, it was his idea. I was like, Ryan, I'm fresh out
Sure.
of ideas for YouTube. I'm gonna hang it up. I'm done. He's like, Circus, I got you, buddy. I got you. So, how'd you come up with this idea?
Well, I realized these cards also suck in TCG, but they extra suck in Duel Links. And I was like, I got to let the world know why they extra suck in Duel Links, because there are people asking me, how do I build an Exodia deck? Well, to be honest, you don't.
Well, okay, well, there's one of them. Exodia. You did have two others. Do you want to hold
You
off, or
do.
do you just want to talk about Exodia first? You want to keep them
We,
like
we get,
waiting? I think we should keep them
yeah,
waiting.
let's
Like,
keep them waiting. Yeah.
ah,
Let's
you
talk
gotta
about
watch the
Exodia
whole
first.
video now. No
Let's
timestamps.
let's get in here with Exodia.
All right,
So,
this card or series of cards.
yeah, no kidding. These five. So first things first, they're not even cards in Duel Links, which is already like not a good thing. You have to get a skill,
A skill.
which adds the cards in a already pre-built deck. So by default, any Exodia deck is at least 25 cards,
Right.
which is horrible in Duel Links because your starting hand's 4 and you only draw once per turn naturally. So think about this. If you go first and you open up 4 cards and you don't do anything else, you pass over, you have 21 cards left in your deck. And the moment, if your opponent's playing a standard deck, the moment your opponent gets to do their first turn, they have 15 cards left in their deck.
Right.
So the difference
They're
is night and
already
day.
ahead of you. They're already
Yeah.
ahead of you.
Consistency is very important in Yu-Gi-Oh! And that not being available for the Exodia decks, is crazy. Because a lot of my friends, they're always surprised when I tell them, the ones that don't play Duel Links whatsoever, they're always surprised when I tell them, yeah, Exodia is in the game. And they're all casual players. So they don't realize Exodia also sucks in TCG as well. But that's okay. They're like, how can a card like Exodia, I watched the anime, how can it be in Duel Links? You only have 20 cards in your deck. That should be easy. You draw 5, you win. It's not how it works, unfortunately.
Right.
Anytime Exodia is good, that means there are other decks that are going to be even better. I say this, for example, so what makes Exodia good? Drawing a bunch of cards. That's essentially how the deck functions, right? Like you want to draw all your pieces in your hand and you win. Unfortunately, literally, there are all these other decks that would just do better if you use that same draw power. So, for example, the best Exodia has ever been is when Bamboo was around, right? The Bamboo Grass engine, it was extremely broken. People were using the Sprite to FTK people with burn damage. The spell counters were FTKing people with spell damage. And you could use it as well in Exodia to Exodia kill someone. But those decks are 20 cards and Exodia is 25 cards. So you have a higher chance of opening the FTK in the 20 card variants. So even in decks where Exodia would have been good or eras when Exodia would be good, other decks are going to immediately be better in Duel Links. It's just never good in Duel Links no matter what. So fair warning, if you're an anime watcher and you really want to play Exodia just for the memes, even by meme standards, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. And it's mostly just consistency. That's the problem.
I love all the creative ways that people come up to summon Exodia because there's so many different variants of the Exodia deck that when I run into someone playing it on the ladder, I'm like, I'm just gonna sit back, I'm gonna let it happen, and if they win, I'm gonna give them a nice, because it's like usually okay, this is a free win, or they're gonna pull it off. So I want to see if they do. And there's been so many variants, and it's never, thankfully, it's never been meta relevant or whatever. Because if it is, this would just be a really gross deck, because it could be a true FTK. And we did a few of these on Garbage Phase where we'd actually have like the Fortune Lady draw engine. And, yeah, it got real crazy. We could pull Exodia off like 12% of the time or something like that. So
yeah, 12%.
yeah, it wasn't real great, but yeah, it's not a good deck, but it makes you think of the anime, and this is what the whole heart of the cards is right here.
Heart of the cards.
Because remember, it's like, my grandpa's deck isn't garbage, or whatever he says. It's like, your grandpa's deck sucks. And he's like, it doesn't suck. I believe in the heart of the cards. And he draws the last piece or whatever it is. the arm, the leg, the head, or
Do you
whatever.
ever
You know.
see the meme where it's that same exact sequence, but then he top decks and shows Alistair the Invoker, and he's I have no pathetic cards. Bam,
Right.
Purgatrio. Oh no, that's a more
Yeah. So
realistic approach to
I mean,
things.
Exodia is like everything that Yu-Gi-Oh is based on, right? I mean, it's in
Yeah,
that first episode, and
he's probably the third most recognized monster, right? Like first and second, depending on who you ask, is going to be Dark Magician Blue Eyes.
right,
Third is almost always Exodia. People always think about him. Even like the casual people, even people who don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, just yeah, saw the first episode of the anime, know who Exodia is. He's like that, But at the end of the day, even in TCG, he's limited to one. All the pieces are limited to one, so he's already hard enough to summon. Well, in Duel Links, you're technically limit one because of skill, but you're also inconsistent because you're playing 25 cards,
right.
and there's really no generic good draw engines out there. They all got nerfed into the ground because their draw power is strong. It's really strong, especially in a 20 card format. And yeah, literally anytime draw power has been relevant, it's just been better in like Bamboo Sprite FTK or a spell counter FTK. Those are just better, more consistent, faster than Exodia.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of like one of those things where just the name is used in like Yu-Gi-Oh slang. Like this guy drew Exodia.
He drew Exodia, he wins. Yeah.
Yeah, you know. So I think it's iconic. It's a meme, but it's an iconic meme. You know.
You
So
gotta love Exodia.
and
I
then
just wish
I was gonna say, do you remember back early on in Duel Links? I think it was in the first year of Duel Links. Do you guys remember when they used to do special duels,
yeah.
special dueling events, and they gave us Exodia
Yeah.
before it was officially released, and that you couldn't play on a ladder. You had to play like on a separate ladder over on the side, and
I
they wanted to
miss
see
special
how broken
duels.
it was gonna be.
Yeah, I miss special duels because it was a way for them to test what's broken and not broken for the game, right? Like
Right.
they were like Konami was like, yeah, I honestly don't know if Exodia is going to be broken or not. So let's just release it in a special duel, see if it's broken or not. Turns out no, because half the player base built a deck that drew cards and tried to play into Exodia, and the other half picked up whatever meta relevant deck was there, slapped in the skill, and just farmed gems through the
Right.
event. And I'll tell
And
you
that's
right
how the
now.
PvP events were born.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, the people who just did that, the meta decks won way faster and way
Yep.
more than the people that tried just to go for the Exodia
Well, I
win.
think one of the key cards back then I remember seeing YouTube videos was like Pot of Dichotomy. Like you had to have one of
There
those, and you're
was
there's
yeah,
just there wasn't draw power at the time. You know, it's like
there was
okay, you
not
got
draw
your three
power. Yeah.
pots of a jar of greeds, and then you got
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. The only, like I said, the only time where Exodia was anywhere consistent was that bamboo engine, but that
yeah,
bamboo engine was just better in other decks. So
right, yeah. All right, what's your next one after Exodia?
so our next one I want to talk about, Gate Guardian.
Oh my God, this is
Oh lordy, this guy.
uh,
So he's already bad even by TCG standards because the actual monster Gate Guardian does absolutely nothing. He just has a high attack, 3750, which
right,
even by back then wasn't even like anything crazy to think about. But the monsters to make him are better. They're just flat out
right. They have
better.
better effects, right? Because they can turn your monster's attack to 0
Yeah,
or
it's
something like that.
so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah, when they get swung into and stuff, you just turn them into 0, which in a 4K life point matchup, they all have like 26, 25, 2400, something along those lines body. And one of them had like high defense. I think they were around 2000 defense as well.
right, right.
So literally someone swings into you, you're about to deal a ton of damage back to them.
Yeah.
And if you have one of each of these guys,
Why would you do it?
already, and all of them have their effect active. It's like, why would you go into Gate Guardian? This is so bad. It's so bad. But we got to talk about Duel Links. Why is it especially bad in Duel Links? Because there's a skill in the game that starts you off with the 3 pieces already. Their effects are negated. You can't use their effects. And you have Gate Guardian in your starting hand. And that's your only card that you get. And you're set to 500 life points.
What?
So, turn 1, it's a paradox, rather, a skill. Turn 1, you can special summon the Gate Guardian by getting rid of those 3 monsters that have no effects, so you should do that. But you have 500 life points, and you have no other cards in your hand. Oh my god. So you literally just start the duel with 3750 beater.
I think this was a farm deck for a while, wasn't it?
It was used in farm decks that
Yeah.
against NPCs that could not deal, or what, their code was like, oh, this monster attack is so high, I'm not going to swing, I'm not going to be
Put
proactive
everything
whatsoever.
in defense,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
then you could abuse the AI through that. But even nowadays, like the Labyrinth Builder build is so much better. It was like briefly good. In PvP though, K Guardian is so bad. It's horrible, and the skill doesn't help it at all. There's someone talking about potentially when I think they're all level 7s. When rank 7s come out, maybe we can do a Gate Guardian. You know, like you have the 3 pieces, make a
Oh,
rank
okay.
7 turn one, and I'm like, listen, you have no cards in your hand.
And 500 life points.
500 life. That's not gonna happen, man.
Right.
It's just bad. So Gate Guardian not well represented in Duel Links whatsoever, which is crazy because a lot of older cards, like one that comes to mind is Insect Queen, they get versions that are better, metamorphosized Insect Queen that are actually playable. You know, at least at a meme level. There's no reason to bring out Gate Guardian
I
ever.
do you remember the anime at all? I just remember they had to battle these guys like in an underground
Yeah,
maze, right? And
it
did
was
they
like
have
a
to beat
weird
the Gate
format.
Guardian to get out or something? It just sounds like that's what it'd be, right? Like,
That's pretty much what it was. It was a weird format where it was like the cards, there was like an actual labyrinth, there was like things attacking them and stuff, and then like they had the separate pieces and they defeated the separate pieces, but then they came together and they can activate all their effects at the same time. And this is back in the day when the strongest monster we had seen to that point was like Blue Eyes White Dragon. I don't think we saw Ultimate Dragon yet. I think Ultimate Dragon was after. I'm pretty sure. Someone can correct me
oh, you
if
just
I'm
got
wrong.
destroyed in the comments. I can
Yeah,
hear it
so
right now.
actually, right, the Ultimate Dragon.
Duh!
I'm pretty sure this was before Ultimate Dragon. So at the time,
Right.
this was like the biggest monster ever until Ultimate Dragon came. I was like, oh my god, 4,500. So
Well, I'm
yeah,
guessing there was a monster that was 3,700, right? Because this is 3,750, and that's always how they did things. You know, it's like it's
no,
just a little bit better.
I think in that same duel they made the Black Skull Dragon because it was Joey and Yugi, I'm pretty sure, versus the Paradox Brothers. So they made the Black Skull Dragon, which was 3,200, which won up the Blue Eyes. So we're like,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
Black Skull. Then this guy rolls around
Immediately the next
3,750.
turn. You know, that's what I love
Yeah,
about the
imagine
anime.
that.
It's like I just made the coolest play ever in the history of Duel Links, and now it's your turn. You know, I just made the coolest play ever in
Yeah. So there you
Top
go.
Deck Gods. Yep. All right, now you got one more, and I think you kind of hinted at it already. A little spoiler alert in there.
I did. Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
Everyone's favorite dragon. I remember when I was a kid, the first time I saw this thing, I was like, this is the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's nothing will ever elapse the Blue Eyes
how can
Ultimate
you
Dragon.
be 4,500 attack?
How can you, man? It's insane. It didn't help too that in video games, he usually was like the best card, right? Like if you played the Game Boy games, like those games are only there was no effects. It was just he was just
Just
stronger than
normal
everybody.
monsters, yeah.
Yeah, and then like in pretty much any video game he showed up in, he just was the boss monster to beat. So it was really
Right.
cool back in the day. But yeah, unfortunately in Duel Links, same as TCG, there's literally no reason you'd rather have three 3K attack monsters than one 4,500 attack monster.
Yeah.
You know, like it's better to like let's say I have a set window, you want 3 Blue Eyes to swing, swing, swing. Where if they have a set window and you have an Ultimate Dragon, you swing once, you lose. So that sucks right off the bat.
Right.
There are better fusions in Twin Burst as well, right? Like Twin Burst is just inherently better because it actually adds something to your deck. It lets you out things that you can't destroy by swinging over them, by just banishing them afterwards. And there's just a flat out better version of Ultimate Dragon now that can be used in OTKs via skills. So, and even that's not good enough to be used with giving him an actual effect. That's actually not even that bad, where you like send I think it's Ultimate Dragons or Fusion Dragons from your extra deck to the graveyard. And you can swing multiple
Yeah, can
times.
keep attacking, yeah.
And even that's just not even good enough an effect. They actually gave it an effect, and it's still not good enough compared to just playing Alternate Dragon and popping a monster or something along those lines.
Well,
Because in reality, Blue Eyes doesn't need extra attack power. They've got all the attack power in the world. You know, they need other things to make themselves good. And Blue Eyes Ultimate just ain't helping with that.
well, I think this card got immediately power crept by the first card that ever said target one monster on the field and destroy it.
Yeah.
You know, whatever that card was, immediately power crept this one because it just made it irrelevant because you'd invest what 4 cards into this.
Yeah, and there was never at any point in Duel Links history where this card was relevant, right? Because it came out in the very first box. It came out with Sphere Kribo and all of those.
Right.
And
Well, I'm just
you
thinking
know,
even in the TCG or anytime this
yeah,
would
even
ever
in
be
TCG,
relevant, any card that says target one monster and destroy it.
yeah, or destroy this monster, stop this monster.
Because
Yeah, it's very unfortunate.
because it has no effect.
No effect. That's it's just literally a big monster. An extra 1,500 attack. It'd
Right.
be different if it had like 9,000 attack, right? Because then it's like, oh, you fused your 3 blue eyes to make space for more monsters, or to resummon your
Right.
blue eyes monster reborn. I could understand that, but 4,500 for 3 blue eyes white dragons? Are you serious? That's just
Right.
scam, bro. Oh
Yeah,
my,
because the attack is it's only 1.5 times. That's
yeah,
I would
it's
feel
not.
scam. I would have buyer's remorse if I bought this in real life. It's like,
Yeah,
hey, I see you got 3 blue eyes white dragons. Yes, I've raised them since they were children. They're beautiful, aren't they? Well, I'll take your 3 blue eyes white dragons for one ultimate dragon. I'd be like, really?
good deal.
You get that thing home, you'd be so disappointed. Look at it. It doesn't even look as cool.
Nah, I
You
don't
look
like the
at
weird mark he has on his forehead. It's just
yeah.
weird.
I'm trying to think, did Kaiba ever actually win with this thing?
Illegally.
Illegally. What I love is he'd always go into it like he's just gonna whoop someone's ass with it, and then
Oh
he's like the
god.
perennial loser. I don't get Kaiba.
Yeah.
He's always calling Joey, what is it, a third rate duelist with a fourth rate deck or whatever, and like, but when does Kaiba
Kaiba's,
win? Only when he threatens to commit suicide?
Kaiba's win rate is literally garbage against Yugi, and then any like main
Anybody
protagonist
else?
of the series. So like Pegasus, Darts, all like the main
Right.
antagonists, and Yugi. His win rates are low. Against everyone else, he wins in like one turn.
Okay.
Somehow this man God hands, Obelisk
Right.
turn 1, OTK, but against Yugi or any antagonist, nah, he loses.
Yugi's in
No
his
shot,
head,
dude.
man. He's in his head. Like he probably has Exodia in his hand. Kaiba does. He just doesn't know what to do with it. He's like, I don't.
Yeah,
He just doesn't know what to do. Yugi's in his head.
feels bad, man.
Poor Kaiba. We should do a video about Kaiba.
Kaiba's one of my favorite characters. Come on, bro.
All right. Well, what do you guys think about this? I guess this is our top three
Yeah,
useless cards in Duel Links. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun just sitting around talking about it. We love talking about Duel Links, and that's why we're here, right? All right.
that's
So
right.
we're gonna get out of here. Make sure to get into our Discord because that's where awesome things happen, like tournaments and new player help. Well, oh, memes and anime discussion. What else? I don't know.
Damage step. Let's go,
Damage
boys.
step. Yep. Check that out. Make sure to check out Rye when he calling tournaments. Make sure to check me out on Saturday nights doing the new player stream. So, all right, we're gonna get out of here. I'm Circus. That's Rye.
Bye, YouTube.
We'll see you next time.